Hi everybody, today what I'm going to do is I want to show you how you can use your Lenormand cards and also Kipper cards in the same reading. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use your Kipper cards and your Lenormand cards all together in one reading. Now, really, for all the cards to be the same size, you really need these two decks, okay? Because, you know, there are a lot of decks that have come with different card sizes and everything, but these two are the exact same size, and you can actually pull the cards from both decks. Now, whenever I do my Lenormand card reading with the Kipper cards, I usually use all the Lenormand cards, okay, all the basic ones that historically have been there, the different symbols. And then the Kipper cards are going to be like my additional cards that I'm going to add into the deck. I just love doing the Lenormand card reading better than the Kipper style. And to really understand both decks, you have to remember that the Lenormand card was actually developed and made in the 1799. Now, the Kipper cards didn't come around until 1890, but it's very interesting because you really need to look at society and how people were back then and why they use those certain symbols. You know, and I just wanted to do something different with my cards. And you always have to also remember that you are not only a card reader, but you're an intuitive reader. So the cards are not the ones that really express what is going on with your client. It's your intuitive process that's also combining with the cards. You're the one that's activating the cards. So, you know, for people who don't want to separate Lenormand cards and Kipper cards, it's perfectly fine. This is just something that I really feel drawn to do. And I'm going to show you why and which cards that I'm choosing to use in the Kipper. So the next card that I want to show you that I am really going to use from the Kipper deck. Now remember, all the Lenormand cards I'm going to use. But for the marriage card, I really love this because a lot of people, you know, think, well, am I going to get married or am I going to be committed to something? Now, the Lenormand card does have a relationship card, okay, which is the heart card, which is love, and then also the ring for commitment. But I think this just kind of brings out the additional meaning. It, you know, connections, bonding, commitment, and unity. It can also just mean commitment to business relationships as well. So joining forces. But I love this card with marriage. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to add that to my reading. Now, the next one that I want to show you is the mature man. I know that we have a woman and a man in the Lenormand deck, but I love adding more people into the deck. And the mature man can be, you know, to me, it just adds so much more additional meaning to it. Okay. Like, you know, it could be your grandfather, it can be your father, somebody who is really supporting you, who is wise and mature. You know, the older we get, the more we hope that we get. We get matured or, you know, or that kind of thing. But I am not looking at the directional cards. This is just something that the Kipper does, you know, depending on where the card lays. I'm going to do the Lenormand card readings. So since I had the mature man, I have to have the mature woman, okay? And I absolutely, again, love using more people cards into the reading. I just think it's going to add so much more. Then what I decided as well is the false person, adding more people. It just, you know, whenever in the Lenormand card reading, you have the fox, which is deceitfulness. But when you add a person into it, it just means so much more. It can also mean, you know, jealousy, deceitful, confusion. You don't know about this person, okay? Just to me, it adds so much more to it whenever you're looking at an actual person. Thoughts. I love this card. So preoccupation. So sometimes you know, and we all do this. We usually have thoughts that really drive what we do, and sometimes we become obsessed with thoughts, right? So it describe a thoughtful person when next to a significator or a character card. Now, again, this is with, you know, the Kipper cards as well, so you can also use that. But the dreaming and the planning, I just love this because I think our thoughts are so important to talk about, especially in a reading, because people don't realize that the thoughts are so powerful, just like the verbal words that we say out loud. Oh my goodness, your thoughts can be so much more potent because I think we think things, but we won't say things out loud. So the thoughts are so important. And that's one reason why I thought, you know what, I need to use this particular card. All right, so the next one is the gift, okay? Like being supportive is a gift. Small luck. You might have a visit, which is a gift, a surprise. And I like this too, time frame, like next holiday or celebration. I really like that. It can be used also as a time card. And it's usually exactly what you need, you know, is considered a gift or gratefulness. So I just absolutely love this card. So this another card that I have decided to use is high honor. And the reason why, because to me, it's like a lot of people ask, I've actually had a client that asked me, I don't know if I'm going to pass my exam. So this actually can look at, well, are you going to pass your exam? Are you going to get the next promotion? Are you going to graduate with honors? It really just shows that somebody is about to receive honors, or when you're talking about somebody else, somebody who is very socially looked up high upon, you know, or in the profession. So I just really like this, the high honor. Imprisonment. We cannot leave this card out. Okay, so I know it can mean what it looks like: prison, jail, asylum, rehab center, you know, bank, or military barracks, or locked up, off limits, secured place. Sense of confinement. To me, the most important meaning of this is a lot of people feel so isolated, okay? The isolation and just desperate to get out of the prison that they have made for themselves. Okay. So you may feel trapped, whether in a relationship, job, or a situation. And also a time card that means that time is moving very slowly. But right now, so many people feel like they are in a prison because they are so lonely. And I thought, you know what? This is a perfect card to add to my Lenormand card readings. Okay, so the next card that I decided to choose from the Kipper deck is Despair. So, because a lot of people, again, talking about grieving, and they may have lost somebody that they really are missing, weeping, severe stress leading to emotional exhaustion, serious concussions, fever, or migraine. So, we're also talking about, you know, physical health as well. May indicate jealousy, despair in a relationship, or suffer from a heavy workload or fear of a job loss. So to me, I think this just adds so much emotion to and energy to the card deck. So, and I have so many clients that talk about, you know what, I don't really like the occupation that I'm in, but I really want to get into an occupation that I absolutely love. And usually the second one that they're talking about, the occupation is about their hobby. They want to start making money on their hobby. And you know what? And I thought this would be perfect. So, self employment, freelancing, dye work, hobby, sport, craft, or where you devote your time to, where your soul is actually feeling good. May indicate a starting something, beginning a new project, and spending a lot of effort doing work you enjoy. And so this is one that I feel like needs to be in the deck. All right. The last card that I have decided to add to my Lenormand cards is community. So I know that we have the garden, which depicts community, but to me, this is a little bit stronger. with family and friends and people that you are like-minded, because a lot of times people go, you know what, I don't believe in everything that my friends believe in. I need to find somebody, a group that really believes in what I believe in. So this is your community. These are your peeps, is what I call it. Okay, it cannot be your family, but it can be, harmonious relationships, which means that you are really the yin and the yang, or it can actually mean that y'all believe in the same thing and that y'all are on the same page of basically everything. And in professional terms, I love this. It's good for, oh, and I spelled teamwork wrong, so don't look at that. It's good for teamwork and positive work atmosphere. So it just means that, you are in a job that everybody works very well together, that you're in sync. Absolutely love this. So usually when that happens, you absolutely love your job. Okay, so what we're going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and do a reading with all this combination. Now, some of these new cards that I have put in the deck may not show up. Okay, so it just depends upon the reading. So let me go ahead and turn on my camera. Be able to do a reading. Always need somebody, because it really makes the energy really good. And just know this is for educational purposes only. Okay. So what I love to do is I love to get the People magazine. And I think I've already done a reading for them. But I feel like we really need to do this again, because I picked this People magazine up like 2 days ago. And I'm going, oh my gosh, you're still in the headlines. So it's Harry and Meghan. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do like a general reading on their relationship. All right. So to be able to activate, and I'm going to try not to look at it, because you can see these are the Kipper cards and these are the Lenormand cards. So, it's kind of, you got to be real careful not to nitpick, what you're looking for. But I'm going to go ahead and set the intention and activate the relationship card, which is in the Lenormand cards. All right. And just a general guidance for the relationship. So it's going to be a 5-card reading. And I just love 5-card readings, because this way, if you have a client across from you, you can read very quickly over as many questions as you can get in with the amount of time that you have with them. So that's why I love the 5-card reading. Now, if you're doing the tableau, I would just stick with the basic Lenormand cards and not have the additional Kipper cards. It just kind of messes things up unless you feel very confident. You know what I'm saying? Because again, use your intuition, use what works for you. Okay, don't think tradition like everybody does it the same way. Do it the way that you think. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking for the relationship card in the Lenormand card reading. And those are the two swans is what really I'm looking at. We could look at the wedding ring, but I'm looking at the relationship in general. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm being pulled to the 2 swans. Okay. So, of course, whenever you do a 5-card reading, there's the swan. That is the main card. And then I'm going to pull these 2 cards on the left, that's next to the main card, and 2 cards on the right. Oh, I love it. I was really hoping that some of the Kipper cards would come out so I could do the reading. Now, the one difficult thing about combining the cards is that you really need to know the meaning of your cards. And again, you're using your intuition to make the story. But it's very hard to find a resource to see what the combinations could be, because you're doing it from 2 different decks. But okay, so see, we have community. I absolutely love this community. And then, of course, right here on, and we're looking at the relationship. What kind of advice can we have in the relationship? And remember, I was talking about finding your own peeps, finding your community that works for you. Well, that is a wonderful advice for these 2, because again, they have left the being the prince and the princess. They have left that behind to move to America. And so they're finding their own peeps. And right here, and this is interesting, it's next to the polar bear, which means leader. It means be your own boss, that type of thing. So almost like an entrepreneur. But whenever you're looking at this couple, okay, you're looking at that they're really taking it upon themselves to make their own relationship, finding their own community, being their own bear. So good for Harry and Meghan for doing this. Now, on this side, okay, it's almost like this is the relationship is actually moving to a new level, okay? And it's really despair, not knowing, where to go from this. They're finding their own people, they're finding what they need to do in the relationship. But on the other side, whenever, every relationship changes, okay? You have different, just like in everything else, you have different stages. That's what I'm trying to say. So they're going through a different stage in their relationship and they're feeling a little uneasy about this, okay? Because the relationship is going to a new stage. And so they're kind of feeling kind of icky. But what I'm really feeling for them is keep up the communication. Keep the communication up between you two, and really because y'all are thinking the same thing, the same way that you need to go, even though this relationship is going on to a new level. So make sure that you keep in that communication with each other, make sure that you're needing the same thing and so forth. Just keep that open, and hopefully this despair will get less and less. But that is one thing, that whenever you do something new, you're just not too sure about it. It does cause headaches, it causes stress, it causes everything because it's so new. And so just kind of work it out. Y'all are all, both of you are learning new things. All right, so you just saw how that could work. I am so glad that the Kipper card and the Lenormand cards came. I didn't know how that would work out. I mean, you just never do. So that's why I absolutely love this deck. Combining these two decks, because it just added so much. And of course, everybody, it's create their own decks, okay? And that's what I have done. And I cannot wait to show you what I have created, because I just wanted to use some extra cards that really, because my readings, it's so interesting when you get into this business. At first, all your readings are so different. You have different people, and then they start becoming almost very similar, because your energy attracts that kind of person that has the same problems, okay? And so what I felt like is I wanted to meet their needs, their energy. So I have created my own deck. Now, again, I have used all the Lenormand cards, the basic cards in it. I've just changed the pictures. I've updated it. And I've also used these Kipper cards that I just showed you. And I've added additional cards. I can't wait to show you. But I just want to show you my first one, the one that I absolutely love. And this is the woman card. And as you can tell, it's very fantasy. And yes, she's a redhead. And so a lot of my cards are redheads. I haven't named the deck yet because I feel like I really need to work with it first before I give it a name. And I'm going to sell it quite yet. I need to make sure that it works and that, hopefully it will attract an audience as well. But if you are not liking a lot of the pictures that are on the cards and you feel like you need to extend yourself as a reader, as an intuitive reader, create your own cards. I mean, that's the next step to do this. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and hopefully it gets you thinking about being a card reader with Lenormand cards and Kipper cards, that you can kind of be different and really whatever works for you. So again, get those cards, get yourself out there, and good luck and many blessings.